Hello, Caydor here. Perspective Part 9. Things you can't control. Because when those come into play, that's where your perspective is really put to the test. And I'm not saying you should never lose it, because sometimes powerful emotion hits and you just can't keep in mind that you need to be rational. Anger is pretty bad about this. So is sadness and depression. Happiness isn't too bad. I like happiness, making people laugh, etc. Anyways, emotions are bad about this, especially when it comes from the unexpected. Because when you're braced for something or expecting it to come, it softens the blow a little bit, but nothing stings quite like a sucker punch, especially from a place you'd never expect. Like today's recording, for example. I've been half sick the last week, or actually 2 weeks, which is why you got Dark Cloud 2 videos the last 2 Wednesdays, and I easily could have put the next one up, but it's not one of the better episodes, or at least the issue is that there's a couple more levels of dungeon grinding, or dungeon crawling and grinding, before we get to the next story point and dialogue. And it's really easy to make fun of the dialogue in that game, but there's generally not a lot going on in the dungeons, and so I'd prefer to be at the top of my game when I write and record that one. Because while I do have notes, I need to bring in outside jokes and find some other things to make it better. So I decided to go with this, because even though it probably won't be my A game, that's why I'm doing it vlog style, you get mistakes and everything. It was necessary, because I need to adapt to things I couldn't control. And sometimes that means going down the difficult path. Because many days, especially when the unexpected hits you, the easy thing is to just walk away, leave it be, let it resolve itself. And the difficult thing is to dive in and help, or just do it, even when it's going to ruffle a few feathers. Especially if someone that you'd rather not ruffle the feathers of. Because doing nothing is easy and doing something is hard. And it would have been easy to do nothing, or just put videos off a week, or throw up something I already had recorded that may not be the best material or with the minimum amount of editing. But I'd rather do the correct thing, or I'd rather do the right thing than the correct thing. What's the difference? Well, the correct thing would be the smart thing, the thing that makes the most sense, even if it doesn't agree with you. The right thing is the one where at the end of the day you can look yourself in the mirror and go, even though I have this nagging feeling about an event that went on in it, I would have hated myself more if I didn't do it this way. Whether it be helping someone who doesn't want to be helped, or making a video that's not necessarily at your best. Because, as an article I read the other day, and I'll post the link underneath the video if I find it, said life is basically a series of shitstorms that you just ride out while they're hitting, enjoy while they're not hitting, and prepare for the next one. Because something is always going wrong. Though I admit some time periods are worse than others. Not necessarily a general thing, but like I went from having the minimal amount of things happen in my life, probably because I was doing next to nothing or I was just falling into a routine, a pattern. And now that I'm breaking out and actually doing stuff, I find myself hitting lots and lots of brick walls. And with that comes, second guessing yourself, self doubt. Am I doing the right thing? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. And that's where the next part comes in of things you can't control. How other people see you. Because you're going to be an upstanding person, almost everyone likes you. There will always be that one person who simply dislikes you because you're an altruistic person, or maybe the way you come across, you seem like someone who's covering up a dark secret. And basically, for that person, anything you do right is a lie or a deception, and everything you do wrong is confirmation of your true self. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I can't really say because it's an individual basis. And while many sources and places out there say, don't worry about other people's opinions, ever, I'm not going to say that. Mainly because a lot of things comes down to what it is. Like, let's say opinions come down to about somewhat similar to, say, the pop charts, where at their best they're a collection of songs across multiple genres that are getting their day in the light and allowed to be enjoyed by people of other genres. At their worst, it's a bunch of corporately tooled crap that someone pays to make popular and everyone accepts it because, oh well, if everyone else likes it, maybe I should too. And it's the bad side of things. And it's kind of a hole in the way the brain works. Because from my understanding, you kind of have two sides. One is, I think I call it the reptile brain. That's basically like impulse based and kind of goes for the base instinct stuff, food, sleep, etc. And then you have the rational side that does more logical and says, no, that's not good for you, we shouldn't do this, we should do this. And the reptile one is always on, while the rational side has has a finite amount of focus. When that runs out, the other one gets to take over. And so a lot of times it'll just accept something that's common knowledge as right, even if it's wrong. That's why you still get a lot of people who don't understand the theory of evolution, saying that we didn't come from monkeys, which everyone who knows the theory of evolution kind of gives a giant eye roll at. Or like, say, I know lots of words and stuff. My brain's been foggy this week, so I wasn't really able to come up with a whole lot of examples, but or like, say, sharks or killer or whatever. More people die by year by various forms of cattle than sharks. I think you get a similar with spiders. but the common knowledge is that they're bad, so we go after them first. Just how it goes. I mean, times that's a good thing. You don't need a case study to know that vegetables are good, and even though a lot of people shove many of the berries as, say, superfruit, they have the exact same properties as just about anything that's high in antioxidants. And if you watch my nutrition video, you know eat your colors. What does that mean? Well, when it comes to the plant world, generally if it's not green, it has an antioxidant with, I think the exception, and don't quote me on this, I believe green apples have antioxidants in the flesh. Not as much as some of the other fruits and vegetables, if I remember correctly, but it has some. And then when it comes to greens, especially of the leafy variety, the darker the better, because the green is generally chlorophyll. So like say iceberg lettuce has little to none, and well, romaine and what is it, arugula, have quite a bit more because they're darker. But I'm getting sidetracked. But that's just me. So anyways, back. Common knowledge can be good and bad. And part of it comes down to not enough people listening to the ones that want to correct. But it's kind of the problem. It's hard to know what's right and what's wrong, just about any form of life. Because what's common may be wrong, and what someone's saying is the correct thing could be wrong. So generally the more people who say it is generally the one that wins out, even if it's wrong. Let's see, what have I covered? This is like my second or third take, so if I forget something, I'll add it in as like text underneath or something. It's kind of the side effect of doing it vlog style. If you watched any of Doug Walker's vlogs, especially towards the end of the A.I.R vlogs, he did a lot of cutting as he forgot stuff. Yes, I'm a Nostalgia Critic fan. Actually quite a few internet reviewers, so you may catch some of their stuff slipping in. Just because either A, I liked it, or B, I wanted to make it my own. So it's probably C, all of the above. Or I saw it common enough that I figured it was something that worked. And I'll narrow it down through trial and error. And we're running a bit long, so let's see. What have I covered so far? Sorry I'm doing this again, but like I said, foggy brain. If I could have written this all out and had notes, I would have. But I do not. And yet I'm doing this anyway. We're at 15 minutes. I'd prefer 20, but I don't just want to ramble for a few more minutes. So I'll end with a quote. Nothing else. I can cut and edit it later. But life is sort of like the ocean, especially if you're standing on a beach where several currents hit. Many days it's peaceful and calm, and it could be bustling with people that you'd rather not be there. Some days you can be alone, enjoying the quiet and the calm. And some days little to nothing will wash up on the shore and nothing will be going on. And some days the flotsam will flow hard, and that's when the junk starts showing up. Some of it will be treasure, and some of it will just be utter crap. And since generally the treasure isn't bright and shiny, and bright and shiny doesn't necessarily mean treasure, it can be hard to discern the treasure from the crap. And you won't necessarily have the time to sort through it all, so most days you just gotta take what you can get and hope it pays off in the end. Like I hope this video will. So, either see you around or see you when this jump cut happens. Because I think what a jump cut is. I always have trouble discerning those. I think it's when it cuts and it's not where it was before, so maybe it'll be a seamless edit, or maybe I'll be wearing a different shirt. And let me know how this one stands out. I have 2 white shirts and a light blue one that I used for the last couple of video ones, but I think one of the white shirts didn't make it into a video because I decided I didn't like it or something. But most of my shirts are black, and I would fade into the background here. This one's a little on the darker side, so I may not stand out as much. If it works, let me know. Got the skulls. If not, I'm seeing about picking up other shirts, but I'm waiting till my next paycheck because I've been a little loose on my spending lately, so I'm trying to tighten the purse strings a bit. But see you around.